really just bringing in all the different fragmented technologies and problems into a seamless solution. So, very broad. And for Angel Hack, we have a lot of very wide creative scope. As long as you're solving a problem in this country with tech, you're eligible for the prize. So, you can combine this with other challenges, and so you can win our prize and IBM, our prize and Purify. Again, we just want to thank you so much for DTEC. They, gave us the space for the weekend. I just did a hackathon in Nigeria where we barely had space to move, and it was very hot. People were amazing and stayed up all night. So this is very comfortable for a hackathon. So just respect the space. We'll be working downstairs for most of the time, and it is open overnight for anyone that wants to stay late. Yeah.
Two words.
Sure.
Yeah. Are you finished?
Yeah, come on, just talk about something. Just very quickly while we're talking about the space, just to let you know a little bit more about the space and what's here for you to use. So obviously downstairs you've got the flexi space. You can work downstairs or upstairs. There's a couple of areas that we've marked as just for DTEC members, which are out of the scope for the event, but other than that, you're free to work anywhere. We also have a games room at the back of the flexi space downstairs, which you're welcome to use. We do also have showers for people who want to stay overnight. On the first floor over there where the bathrooms are, we don't have towels, so you need to bring your own towels if you do want to use the showers. What else do we have? There's comfortable sofas around the place if anyone wants to crash out. There's floor seating in the games room for crashing out on as well.
Maybe also, we do have, I think we have office boys here and everything, but nevertheless, it's a couple of our office boys, and you're kind of a big crowd, so just help with collecting, empty cups and things like that, right?
Yeah, we've got food, we've got breakfast, lunch and dinner provided. There's also a food court, the Chinese, in the food court, the Chinese outlet is open till 11 o'clock tonight. So if you need any midnight snacks or late night snacks, you need to get them before 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Cool.
Thank you. Great. Actually, Giselle. Yeah, if you want to come up and just, just.
Okay. Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me by now, my name is Giselle, and I'm basically Christina's version in Europe. And I came to your country for the first time yesterday, so I'm really excited to be here, and I can't wait to see what you guys are going to be working on, and hopefully being able to see some of you in Silicon Valley in a few months. Yeah, in a few months. So just to let you know, I'm just going to do some of the logistic part of things. Oh, this is the next thing. Okay, cool. We're going to be finishing with the opening ceremony here at 11. We're going to have the team formation side of things, when each of you can come up here. Everyone who has an idea is going to come up here for a minute and be able to present their project, so that the people who are interested, whether you're looking for an entrepreneur, developer, designer, can come to you and talk to you and see if you fit. So that's what we're going to be doing after this. Then we have lunch, of course. Actually, at 2 p.m. we're going to start with the breakout sessions from the sponsors, and it's going to be in this room. We're going to be telling you all of this on Slack. We're going to be reminding you throughout time. Who here is on Slack? Oh, okay, better than my events, most of you guys. For those of you who are not on Slack, please just get on that. And if you didn't receive the link, just come talk to us after that. Then we're going to have the dinner at 7 p.m. and the pitch workshop. For those of you who are going to be pitching for tomorrow, it's going to be very important. You have to be there at the pitch workshop. We're going to be able to not only give you feedback in terms of what are all of the tips that we've been seeing for the past few years that can help you manage the 2 minutes that you have to be able to pitch your project and showcase your demo. and also being able to provide you with feedback in terms of how you personally can improve for tomorrow. So all of the people who are pitching have to be there at 8 p.m. Obviously, the rest of the team can participate as well if you want to learn a little bit more for future reference, but that's the part. And then midnight submission deadline, you have to submit by midnight. That's going to allow us to be able to provide you with not only the times, so basically your order in terms of presentation, so you know by the morning. That's why we really want you guys to be able to submit by tonight. Don't worry about it, it takes like 5 to 10 minutes. You don't have to upload your code. The only thing we want for you is the URL, like your repository URL. So we're going to provide the link on that on the Slack. So yeah, by midnight, and provide even more details on that a little bit later. Yeah, and then tomorrow morning, breakfast at 9, mandatory, 3 p.m.? 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Mistake. So everyone is going to have to do the AV checking, so just to make sure that your computer is going to be able to work, whatever you're presenting is up to par, and if there's something missing in terms of rebooting anything, we can deal with that. And as you're doing your AV checking, you're going to have to do a mandatory pitch, basically practice. We're going to have some mentors going to be able to provide you more feedback, so you're ready to go at 2 p.m. It's probably going to happen here. It's going to be one by one. So that starts at 10 a.m. And then 1 p.m. is lunch. That's where we have code freeze as well. And then we're going to be starting the presentation at 3 p.m. Okay, 3 p.m. is the demos. So 2 minutes each. We are going to be very harsh on the 2 minutes. There's a lot of you. We have to go through a lot of you. So it's going to be harsh 2 minutes. And then we're going to have 2 minute, 2 judges questions per team. 5 p.m. judges deliberation and hackathon awards at 5:30 p.m. Okay, so the rules of the game in terms of InterHack, we have some of them, fresh code obviously. You can have thought about the market, you can have done your market research, thought about your problem, your ideas and everything. Everything in terms of the product, you have to build it here. Code review, for those of you who are actually going to be winning some of the prizes, we're going to do a code review, especially if we're like, this was not done in 24 hours. So we're going to be looking at code review, and if you disqualify if the code does not look like something has been done over the past 24 hours. Ownership and IP, number one rule of hackathons, whatever you build here is your own, so that's the thing. And then team size cannot be more than 5. And submissions, we used to do hackathon.io, but unfortunately because of GDPR that has affected the rest of the world. So we are going to be providing you the link on Slack. And then demo your hack. We do not do slides. I'm going to repeat this. We do not do slides. So that means you maybe have one slide that is, I don't know, the name of your team, pictures of your team, logo of your project, but we do not want you to go, we don't want business stuff or anything. Just one of your slides, what you have to focus on, what you're going to be using it is to showcase your demo. So what we want is to have a working prototype. It has to be a working prototype. We don't want InDesign, all this stuff. We don't want a video. It has to be live. So that's kind of, if you want more details on that, we can give you more details, but just to know that. So it has to be live demo. Yeah?
What if the prototype takes more than 2 minutes? Like for example, if it's an AR prototype and I have to actually show, I have to go to places to show it.
Okay.
Why can't I make a video for this?
Okay, we're gonna, for those of you who have something that is a little more complex, come talk to us because we're gonna kind of guide you in terms of how we can fit that into the 2-minute pitch. That's the reason why also we want all of you who are presenting to be able to come at the pitch practice, because not only we're not just gonna go in terms of we're not gonna go over only in terms of advice and tips on how to pitch, but also in terms of how to structure your pitch so you can actually manage the 2 minutes. So that's one of the things, but come talk to us a bit later when you actually, a little bit after the pitch practice, and then we can work with you. And if you have anything, just come talk to us as well. So that was the thing. And then judging criteria. So those are the judging criteria for the grand prize. So fundability, so how fundable is your idea, which obviously is going to be also relying on a lot of these other criteria. Execution, obviously it's about what you're going to be able to accomplish over the next 24 hours. it's not necessarily us, it's not the execution part when it comes to presentation. We really are aware this is like, you have 24 hours to hack this. Some of you, it's your first hackathon, maybe some of you, it's your first time pitching. So we're not gonna be judging you on your pitch. I'm like completely flabbergasted or something like that, but we just want you to present something clean so people can understand what you're talking about. But so the execution is really going to be about what you were able to actually build over the course of the weekend. UI UX. That is something that we're going to emphasize in the pitch workshop, but I also want you to think about it. I know a lot of you are developers. A lot of you don't really think about design thinking. So that means a lot of you do not think about user experience. You have a problem. You came here, some of you have a problem, there's something they really want to solve, there's an idea they have. And usually what I tend to see is that you go straight into, okay, I know what I'm going to be building, I have this great problem, I think I have this great solution, and what you forget to think about is like when you're building a solution, you're building it for the user. So the number one thing that you have to think about is who is the person who's going to be using your application, your solution, whatever, and then build that. Build the solution around that person. What is their environment? What are the circumstances? Why would they be using that? Instead of just thinking that there's this problem I'm really passionate about and I think I have the solution for that. Think about the users who is going to be affected by it, and then build your solution around that. So the user experience is very important because you might build something really cool, but if it doesn't really apply, if no one can use it, if the person you're targeting is not using it and it's not easy to use, it doesn't matter as a product for a start. Sorry,
is it necessary to have a visual UI or can it be a vocal UI as well? Like by talking to the...
Oh, it's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Originality, it's pretty clear. And then scalability. How much of your solution is, how many people, how scalable is it? And also how many people is it affecting, or how much is it affecting the industry you want to be able to disturb? So that was it for me. And I'll let it go back to Christina.
Awesome, thank you. So quickly to go through the additional challenges and prizes, so you know, this is the one from Angel Hack for one winner that will, it's 12 weeks and it's starting soon. So, whoever the Dubai winner is, we want a team that's actually ready and wants to build this out. So, this will be the best education of your life, trying to build a vision of your company, and we have all sorts of programming, and if you get validation and some traction, then we bring you to Silicon Valley for the Global Demo Day, which is very fun. We have, the best teams from around the world. We just have a very short 2-minute video that kind of shows what that's like. Sorry.
Silicon Valley is really small. If you get a bad rep, you will have a bad rep for a really long time. Especially if at 16 you walk in the building, you're overconfident. They're not going to like you.
You're going to pitch, and we're going to see where things are.
Okay, guys, blow me away.
Our vision of 3D is to unite the Arab region e-commerce ecosystem.
Are you invested in what's happening here?
I'm a judge or investor. I need a clear value proposition. I need a clear business plan.
We are able to aggregate this data and see which is
Today, we don't have to get to the research center.
Where's your demo?
Well, our demo isn't working yet.
Your entire pitch is going to be based around that demo.
I'm just going to be honest. If it is not up to standard, you will not pitch at Global Demo Day.
What does this mean to you?
That I can prove to the family that we should all different route. Get away from the grocery store, from those 16 hours, 7 days a week jobs.
Yeah, that's not a real company. Money is important, but what we put forward is something way more than that. We want to change people's lives.
There are issues between us.
You want to do everything by yourself, not your company alone. It's our company.
I have an ego, you have an ego.
Your ego is become under room.
How far do you think we can get tonight?
We're working like this is your last chance.
We got this.
This is our one opportunity to build this before anyone else does. If we don't get funding now, I am sure that some other company will do it before us, and they will do it better.
The value to the human beings to create solutions for. That is the biggest thing we want to do.
Come on stage tomorrow and sell the hell out of this thing.
Remember where you started. Remember what you went through. Remember where you are now.
I hope that made you all emotional. All right, so we're gonna bring up IBM, Naira, and she'll give an overview of their challenge.
Great, thanks, Christina. So my name is Naira Hussain. As some of you might know, I'm also the lead developer advocate for IBM in UAE. We've actually partnered with AngelHack, the Human Rights Association, UN Human Rights Office, the Red Cross to come up with a few challenges to help developers build solutions for disaster preparedness and disaster mitigation, right? So for this hackathon with AngelHack in Dubai, we actually have a prize of $1,000. So that's a cash prize that will be split amongst the winning team for the Call for Code challenge, right? So we have 6 different challenge areas, and we're going to go through this in our workshop. So we have a workshop later from 2 to 3 later today. Yeah, so as we all know, natural disasters are one of the world's biggest problems. In 2017 alone, that was the worst year on record for natural disasters in terms of monetary and economic impact. So we can see since the year 2000, 2.5 billion people have been affected all over the world. So that actually averages to about 80,000 people every day. We have $1.5 of trillion economic impact since 2003. So that's about 270 million impacted every day. And the occurrence of natural disasters has actually gone up by over 240% in the past 30 years. So in the past year alone, you can see the occurrence of floods has actually been the most. And you can see this is what's damaging communities, lots of lives are lost, people are injured, and so on. So we understand that globally, mitigating disasters has never been more important. And as IBM, we actually want to leverage the community of 22 million developers around the world, and that's something we're doing with the help of AngelHack to help solve these issues. Yeah. So we know as IBM, working with developers are really the builders of the next generation of tools and technologies that can make this happen, and we just want to apply this to the natural disaster issue that we're facing today. What do you win, right? So globally, the winner of the Call for Code award will receive $200,000 in cash prize. So this will be at an awards ceremony later in October this year. You also receive long-term support from the Linux Foundation. Anyone here know what the Linux Foundation is? Okay. So Linux Foundation is actually open source is an organization that takes care of most of the open source projects that you know today, including Linux, Kubernetes, TensorFlow, things like that. So you receive their long-term support. You also are able to pitch this to a venture capitalist and turn your idea into a startup, and your solution will actually be deployed with the IBM Corporate Service Corps in a community that actually requires it, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry?
There's $1,000.
Yes.
Is given because of AngelHack, like at the end of AngelHack?
Yes, correct. So if you win the Call for Code challenge over this weekend, you will receive $1,000 cash prize.
Do we have to submit our idea to the actual website for this, or it's just going to be judged in here?
For the purposes, you will need to register so that you can get your account, you can get all the resources and take part in the workshop, take part during the hackathon, but submission doesn't actually have to be completed now during the hackathon.
What if I wanted to use another idea, like for this, for AngelHack, I want to use an idea, and perhaps it's one of the winning ideas, but then for like the actual competition, I want to do some other idea, like for would that work?
You can still do your virtual. Yeah.
So the hackathon, this Call for Code challenge is actually taking place from June to September 28th, right? So you can build something now during AngelHack and either pivot or build something on top of that and eventually submit before the 28th of September, right?
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. And we will now have Russell from Purify. Welcome.
I'm not sure if I need that. I'll probably use it. All right. I'm Russ. I'm Chief Operating Officer from Purify Digital Markets. We're part of a group of companies that are developing a blockchain-enabled IoT development ecosystem. What does that mean? Well, we are combining things like a hardware marketplace, a talent service. Ultimately, we're developing some other services that will be combining so that people who are developing IoT projects can develop them from beginning to end and deploy them with our assistance. We've done, this is our, well, there's a guy in Chile, Colombia. Today I'm kind of got lost. We've done 8 of these and they've been all very interesting. And our challenge is pretty easy really because it's an IoT type of a theme, but the question, how many of you consider yourselves IoT engineers? And that was what I was worried about. There's one guy in the back. How many of you work on UI UX? Okay. How many of you are database wizards? Not, okay, maybe not wizards, maybe just familiar with database? That's better. How many of you have, what else? Let's see, just grab something. How many of you are AI, interested in AI, machine learning, data science? All the hands that went up, you should consider engaging in our challenge. I know there are probably very few Raspberry, who's got a Raspberry Pi board in their kit? In their kit with them today. Really? See? Actually, some guys bring the whole box of electronics, they show up and they start doing things. But we understand that most people don't come to these prepared to do an IoT project per se. However, kind of the theme of our whole platform is that many people don't consider themselves IoT people. But in fact, an IoT project requires a user experience. It frequently requires very sophisticated database manipulation. There are a lot of skills that go into an IoT project. So our challenge is pretty easy. If you're interested or if you can do a project that demonstrates any subset of those skills and you can relate it to how it might, you don't actually have to do the sensor and the communications here. If you can relate how that application would ultimately be deployed with IoT, we consider that okay. So it's, for those of you who didn't bring a Raspberry Pi board, which appears to be everybody, you're still eligible to enter on our challenge. And the way we do it is we are a tokenized ecosystem. We did an ICO before I joined the company back in February. And so what we're giving out is essentially $5,000 worth of tokens. We've already distributed those to winning teams in places like Vietnam and China and in Santiago, Chile. And the guys in Chile, for example, I'm helping them buy 3D printers, and you can use those to buy hardware in our hardware marketplace. I just bought a bunch of robot chassis and shipped them off to Vietnam last week. So if you're remotely interested in something that might involve the building of a project with electronics, I encourage you to try very hard and win our challenge, because it's a lot of electronics. What else? I think that's it. I don't know if I even talked about this, but I usually judge. I like to judge. And I love to be a mentor. I've invested in about 40 startups in the last 20 years, and I've seen a few good and bad business plans. I'm happy to give you my experience on that. And that's it. And I have some very nice collectible medallions. They are not valuable as tokens, but they are precious nonetheless. And you'll all want one, and I have plenty. Okay, thanks a lot.
I have to say, you guys are lucky. We see some challenges that are very boring or very specific, but these are things that can have a positive impact. You can combine multiple ones, as we mentioned, and you have creative freedom with these and awesome tools. So I also want to have Nitin come up and talk about Craigzo, which is an awesome tool that you could use this weekend and beyond.
Good morning, everyone. So Craigzo is just a community of like-minded people just like yourself to build and collaborate brilliant innovations around. What you see on the platform is just a curated list of ideas, latest trends, what's the next startup in the line, what's the future unicorn in the area of your interest. So if you're interested in just healthcare, virtual reality, AR, and gaming, everything you see on the platform will be just related to that. You can participate in different competitions. You can participate, call for collaborations with different startups around. We offer something called business development and idea development too, where it's a streamlined process of your entire business process. You being the developers here right now, you're the techies behind it. I don't see a need of a techie or a designer or marketing people even to sit at a desk job, 9 to 5 and work on their, like complicated office culture. What we see is if the designer needs their own space, developers need their own space, they need that creative environment to build it. On our platform, we offer that collaboration to you guys. Apart from just idea validation, incubation, guide consumer early adopters, and prototype support and testing, you guys can actually use a building model to build your entire business model at different stage, collaborate with your team members, and not just during the hackathon, because what I believe is, for 2 days or 48 hours is okay, it's brilliant. Like I've been part of Star Weekend Angel Hacks before, and it's brilliant. The amount of synergy and energy you guys have here is unmatched for. But what matters is what's next. Just remember this thing, tomorrow is not the end of the journey. Tomorrow is where you're gonna start. Because tomorrow is when you're gonna know if I'm gonna be in the market or if I'm gonna be going and sitting at home. So good luck. And you can register on the website and use the model for free. It's free for all Angel Hack participants. Yeah, all right, cheers guys.
Great. Yeah, we thought this would be really valuable because, instead of if you haven't studied lean business methodology and gone through all of that, this is a good way to make sure that you have some sort of product market fit, and it will prepare you for the judge questions that they might give you an unexpected one. So if you do this, it will help with that. And then from Angel Hack, we have a whole nonprofit arm that is basically trying to encourage more tech for positive impact. So anything that would have a positive impact, we give ideation areas that are relevant right now and some of the UN Sustainable Development Goals that can be guidelines. But be creative and think of something unique maybe in this part of the world that you can really create a specialty. So obviously everything for IBM will really also be eligible for this prize.
So ideally it should be a code for a cause in the UAW.
Yeah, this is the Code for Cause prize. So you'll get another chance in the accelerator from us, and we're going to do a feature and some perks just for the impact winners from each city. Yeah. And then there's an AWS $100 credits for everyone. This is also on the website. It does take up to 48 hours to get them, so talk to us if you have any problems. If you guys want to screenshot this is all the links you need for everything. This is if you're not on Slack, you can get the invite. This is where you submit by midnight, your team name and your team members, and the event website. So all of them are here. I will post this on Slack, but yeah, please, it'll make it easier. And then we met one of our judges. These are some of the other people that will be, judging your ideas tomorrow at 3 p.m. Aya, who works right here. We have Mohammed Hegazi from IBM. And we actually will also have him from Accenture. And hopefully Russell will be a judge, yeah. I want to give a shout out to our awesome ambassadors. Some of them, a lot of the people behind the scenes don't often get credit, so we're very thankful. These are people that are already on their own, like building up opportunities for entrepreneurs and technologists in this city. And we just love them because they give us, some good ideas and good people to work with. Abdul didn't let me take his picture, but he's here too. And shout out to all of our mentors. They're going to be here. They're a very committed team. They have a big team from IBM that is here to help you with questions, any guidance you need. Don't forget for their workshop later today up here. And we will have, we tried to get some other diverse mentors, like from an investor perspective and entrepreneurship perspective. So we'll have some people for the 10 a.m. session tomorrow to help you out. And of course, all these facilitators from Startup Weekend that have seen so many pitches. So, and then I'm just gonna go through a few of the winners recently because I think it's very interesting and sometimes helps you be a little more creative. But from Angel Hack, why do we love doing this all over the world? It's, people are starting to say Silicon Valley has a blind spot and is not paying attention to a lot of the ideas that are going to be the most important in the next 10 years. Areas that are impacting millions of people that have been overlooked. So that's why we're finding a lot of the most creative things in different parts of the world. This was we had one in Nairobi that was incentivized to clean up trash, which is a huge problem in Nairobi. And they actually we were able to implement this in parts of Africa where you can get credits on your credit card for cleaning up and recycling. Bringing transparency to the charity sector. In Afghanistan, someone created like a karma currency that you could earn and pay for things with this karma currency that was also, providing education in Kabul where it's very expensive and all sorts of other uses, which is kind of the old way of doing things actually. Of course, this team from Dubai that won a hackathon and they were acquired, it's not last week, it was a few months ago, summarizing meetings and giving you actionable steps after a meeting. So awesome that it came from here.
They exited, you should say that.
Yes, they were acquired. So they exited, big success story. Yeah, they were in DTech, right? They worked on it. I think they were one of your. It was one of the investments here. Awesome, all coming together. This was one of Giselle's winning teams last year. They're the winning team. Yeah, the traction was insane. Like how many people were downloading, teaching millennials how to save and invest money. And we've seen some interesting safety. This was a safety one created of, if you're worried your loved ones or friends could check if you made it somewhere okay. This was one for a lot of the world where they don't have smartphones, so people were creating SMS solutions. This was, a mother could register the ages of her children and get SMS tips on how to keep her children very healthy, and it made a huge impact in Pakistan. Yeah.
Was this on the list?
This one was from last year, but it's all the same Angel Hack theme of solving a problem with tech. Yeah. Just a few more. This was allowing lending in Africa, so people could form a community and invest in each other's small businesses. We have a corruption tracker that someone's building in Afghanistan, a heat map of corruption. That's very red. And yeah, that was one in a few cities this year we've seen using Ethereum really to bring that transparency in the charity space, which is sadly very corrupt also. So yeah, that was just to give you guys some ideas, how all over the place some of the ideas are. At this time, I hope some of you, do you want to? Sure, yeah, Hans, come on up.
Okay, I forgot to mention that we actually have the one and only MENA region IoT Intel Ignition Lab in this building, right? Just because when I saw this IoT. So Bhagwan, just come out here. Bhagwan is running this center from Intel. He's an Intel employee. He has a lot of really interesting applications in there. If you have time in between, if you want a break, or if you see that there might be a chance that you could somehow engage with Intel in some form or way, this is a great opportunity since you're here the next 2 days. And I'll just let Bhagwan say one or two words on what you're doing, yeah?
Good morning, everyone. So basically, as Hans mentioned, I kind of run the Intel IoT lab. So do come and visit between your breaks or before your hack starts. We do have a couple of cool use cases as well. And probably we can have a chat over there.
And blockchain, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of solutions on IoT, smart cities, blockchain. We have a cool setup for testing your blockchain solutions as well. So feel free to come and I can explain more on that.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, guys.
They also have a smart bench that has air conditioning and you can charge your phone. So use that. All right, so at this time, we basically are giving people 1 minute to come up and you can, some of you have an idea for years you're thinking about, or you just want to say, hey, I want to work on this problem and I'm looking for this skill set on your team. This is your chance to do that. We're going to time it because there's a lot of you. But who's going to be the first brave soul? Awesome. Come on.
Hi, I'm working with you. It's a very simple concept. It's pin a meal. So you donate a meal to a person who needs it. So the platform helps you choose a meal from any of the restaurants in Dubai, and they would just pin it up, and someone can just come and use the particular meal. That's it. Very simple concept, pin a meal. So it solves the hunger issue. Okay, restaurants can use it for food wastage. They have food left. They can use the platform to say there's food available. So we take it up and we donate it to whoever needs it. So it's called Pin a Meal. Would love to hear from you all. Thank you.
Wait a second. What do you need? The skills.
Honestly, I have a few guys and I would like to talk to them.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
You can say if you're looking for someone specific, so it's.
So, guys, if you're looking for someone specific about designer or developer, or you already have a team, just mention it then. Can you make a queue for the pitches very quickly? Who want to pitch now? Want to pitch? Come on, guys.
Who doesn't have a team?
Come on.
Usually people are for me, yeah.
Come pitch. You don't. What's happening here? So come pitch your idea, guys.
What you
Yeah. Or do you have any problem to work on, or do you need any designer, developer in your team?
I see some faces I know want to pitch. Really? Okay.
Hey guys, it's good practice.
It's good practice, and it's good. There might be someone in this room who's like your dream business partner, and you should let them know what it is you're passionate about. If we don't have any ideas, you could also come say, hey, I'm an amazing UX designer looking for a team.
Or if you don't want, because I think some of you around the world do not like to talk about their idea, you can always just say hi, like I'm working on a blockchain project, AI project, IT project, and I'm putting such and such, and people can come and talk to you about your idea if you do not want to talk about your idea in a large group.
Guys, speaking about your idea in public is the first step to overcome the hesitation you have. And that's what's going to give you a bit of courage to start. And I think that's how I started it. He made me pitch. He was the one behind it. We're like standing, we get 60 seconds to pitch your idea, like, I don't know what to say. But that's what helped you get started.
Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm coming from oil and gas industry. We are manufacturing products for oil and gas like ADNOC or before all others. We have a problem that normally we are sending out products and services and we are waiting our customer to come and pick it up. But they are facing a problem. We have a no-show. They are coming to pick up our materials, we are not ready. And we have a lot of problems of interference between us and them. So normally in Aramex or Souk.com or everybody, each company has its own digital platform, so you can track your product. What I'm thinking about is to have an open platform. Any B2B company can hook up and use this platform to track their orders readiness or service or package. By that, it's scalable. It can be used in manufacturing, it can be used in construction, it can be used in retail. Any product or service that is on the critical path that will affect the business continuity, we need this platform. Anybody can use it to know the readiness of the other service. So we need developer or designer who can help us.
Great, thank you. Come on up.
Hi. My name is Amitesh, and we are 3 of us right now. And we're looking for a coder who can actually help us make it a little look better. So Shweta here will be helping us with some stuff on face tech. Rahul is more on the blockchain side and more on the design and assistant side. So we're looking one coder.
develop what?
We are open. I mean, we understand all of the platforms that were given here. So we are quite open to all the platforms, but technically we'll use either Hyperledger's Sawtooth or Fabric to build the blockchain part of it. We are also going to talk to Intel folks and check out if there are some more stuff that we can integrate onto it. We are looking to build something around vaccination, health kind of management, so that every time a vaccine is created and given to a child, there is a cold chain which can be tracked and stuff like that. We see a lot of use cases for that going forward. So we are open to an idea. We'll refine it further. Sorry? Yeah, and see, since we are going to win this hackathon, it would be nice if you can join.
Basically, I'm interested in computer vision and face recognition and so on. So if someone here is also interested in that field and build something like a face recognition and face search, which can be used in so many places, yeah, let me know.
Awesome. We like to see that attitude. Yes.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Arun and I have my friends Ishak and Shiva. So we have expertise in machine learning, mobile, the voice area development and also the UI. So we have an idea around the post or aftermath of any natural calamity, right? So we can still do predictions, but there are a lot of other factors which cannot be predicted. So after an event happened, let's say a wildfire, now there is a big issue across the globe, right? Recently 200 people died in Greece because of that. And so we are trying to build a solution on how to bring relief to those people based on machine learning, blockchain, and the mobile apps. So we are looking for any blockchain developers who can partner with us and work on this.
Anybody else? Okay. So, yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Ahmed. I'm a game developer, also I'm a augmented reality and virtual reality developer. So if anyone has an amazing idea, I need the skills, I'm open to join them. Thank you.
Hello, my idea is basically we install sensors like moisture sensors and sensors for plants that will basically give us a status on our phone or any smart devices about how the plant is doing. So especially in places like Dubai, where the temperature is very dull and sometimes unpredictable, this can be a very helpful app, especially if you are not there in the country and you want to take care of your plant. So it can be even used on a bigger scale for like mass education or something. I mean, agriculture here in Dubai. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I see some more.
Hi, my name is Lenore Linder, and this is my mom. We're working on making. We're working on making like some sort of mobile app in order to help people in the health industry get access to like files and information about people's healthcare in emergency situations, because it's very hard to access if like your family members aren't there and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yes, the app. I actually work in healthcare for a long period of time. And often when people will come in, they do not know their medical history, or they don't know when they had an onset or beginning of whatever disease, or even in their family history. And often doctors take decisions on what kind of test you're going to have based upon your medical history. So I just want to have something whereby someone can go into a doctor's office and easily can pull up all of your information, and it's not in 20 files, and it's just the summary of what your doctor needs, so that he can actually assess you better. And also, if you have children, look out for any type of illnesses or chronic conditions that might actually come up with them. And we're looking for a coder.
Very good. Yeah, a lot of simple ideas like that are just huge problems in the industry. So very, very good. Anybody else? All right. Yeah. Still, you can still be forming teams over the next few hours and start building your roadmap. At this time, you can start working. So we're going to have lunch downstairs, and that's the best space to work down there. And then come up here for the workshop and the pitch workshop tonight also. And yeah, our ambassadors are going to be around here if you need anything, and we'll be posting on Slack also. Thank you, everyone.
Hi guys, sorry. Just a last note, my name is Zohair. We are looking after DTech social media, so just a hygiene check when you guys have time and are looking at your phones with nothing to do. Follow DTech on Instagram and Twitter, etc., etc. The hashtag for the event is Ah2018. That's also noted down. 2018, sorry. And be sure to mention our partners whenever you do post, if you can. And just engage with the content whenever you get a chance. It'd be great to see you guys online. And good luck.
Okay, that's all. We'll see you guys on the floor.